Today, we're taking a journey into a land of really stark contrasts and incredibly deep history. We're heading to the Makran region of Baluchistan in Pakistan, and we're going to explore its two very distinct faces, from these ancient highlands to a modern, sun-scorched city, all through the lens of two places, Panjgur and Turbat.
Okay, just look at this number for a second. 53.7 degrees Celsius. That is a blistering 128.7 degrees Fahrenheit. Back on May 28, 2017, this temperature was recorded, making it one of the hottest, most extreme temperatures ever reliably measured on Earth. So, where in the world is this place?
Well, that record-breaking heat was in Turbat City, right in the Makran region. It's a place of absolutely intense heat, sure, but also of incredible life. And to really understand this complex region, we need to see it through two very different lenses. You've got the bustling, low-lying city of Turbat, and then you have the highland agricultural heartland of Panjgur. Together, they really do show the two faces of Makran.
And the contrast, well, it's immediate. Panjgur is this vast highland district pretty much defined by its agriculture, sitting at nearly 1,000 meters above sea level. Meanwhile, Turbat is a fast-growing urban hub. It's actually the second largest city in all of Baluchistan, and it lies way lower, much closer to the coast. This fundamental difference in just geography and identity, it really sets the stage for everything else.
But before we can really wrap our heads around modern Makran, we have to listen to the echoes of its past. I mean, this is an ancient land, and its present is totally shaped by centuries of rulers, empires, and different peoples.
The history here is just so layered. As far back as 985 AD, Arab geographers were writing about a capital in Panjgur that was inhabited by the Balochi people. For centuries, local dynasties like the Gichkis held power, trying to navigate pressures from these larger empires all around them. Then the 1860s brought the British, and the drawing of what's called the Goldsmith Line, which created the modern border with Iran. And finally, in the 20th century, the region was integrated into the modern state of Pakistan, with Panjgur becoming its own district in 1977.
And that account from 985 AD, it's so much more than just a date on a timeline. It's actually considered the earliest known written Arabic reference to the Baloch people, placing them right here in Panjgur. This isn't just history. It's like the written foundation of a regional identity that has survived for over 1,000 years.
So, out of that deep history, an equally unique economy has really blossomed. In a region this dry and this challenging, just surviving, let alone thriving, requires some incredible ingenuity. And that brings us to what actually sustains life in modern Makran, especially up in the highlands of Panjgur.
And that ingenuity is perfectly captured by the Kara system. This is an ancient and frankly remarkable form of irrigation. We're talking thousands of years ago, engineers figured out how to tap into underground river flow by digging these long, subterranean channels. This system brings water to the fields without it evaporating in that harsh sun. It's so vital that modern tube wells are actually banned in the district just to protect it.
So what does that ancient technology support? Well, first and foremost, dates. Panjgur is famous for its high-quality Muzadi dates. They're a cornerstone of the economy. But life here also depends on stable crops, livestock, and especially in the western parts of the district, informal cross-border trade with Iran. That's a vital lifeline for fuel and all sorts of other daily goods.
You know, this blend of ancient agriculture and modern cross-border trade really shows a region in transition. Today, Makran finds itself at the intersection of huge global projects and these persistent local challenges, creating a really fascinating and complex picture of the 21st century. And this right here is the central tension of modern Makran. On one side, you have these massive opportunities. The deep-sea port at Gwadar is just 180 kilometers from Turbat. The new China-Pakistan Economic Corridor highway cuts right through the area, and Turbat's airport is now international. But on the other side, the challenges are just as huge. The long-running Baloch insurgency creates security risks, water is still scarce, and the sheer vastness of the land makes just governing it a constant struggle.
And if you want to understand that challenge of governing this vast terrain, just look at its population density. In the main administrative area of Panjgur, you've got about 133 people per square kilometer. But in the neighboring area, a huge swath of the district called Gichk Tehsil, that number drops to just 4. 4! That's how empty and remote much of this land really is.
So, we have these two faces, right? The urbanizing, globally connected Turbat and the vast, traditional, agricultural Panjgur. They seem so different, but they are absolutely bound together. And this brings us to the crucial point about their shared future, which, honestly, stands at a crossroads. Because despite all the contrasts we've seen, highland versus lowland, rural versus urban, there is an incredibly powerful unifying force. Across this entire region, in both Panjshir and Turbet, over 99% of the population speaks Balochi as their mother tongue. This shared language and culture is the glue holding this whole diverse landscape together.
And that leaves us with this final, critical question. With such a unified cultural identity, but being pulled between these ancient ways of life and the promises of new global trade routes, can the people of Makran forge a future that actually balances both? That right there is the defining challenge and the great hope for this fascinating region.